Hello guys, my name is Siddharth Varde and this is Data Structure Fundamentals 2, Mat2 Answer4. The first question is explain linked list data structure. Okay, so uh, linked list is a data structure where like each node points to the another next node. Okay, so like the main node, it would be head, right? The first node itself would be the head. Then the head points towards the next node that it is pointing towards. Then next node points towards the next node that it is connecting, right? So let's say, for example, let's say we can consider them like as an index. So zeroth index would point towards the first index node at the first index node would point at the second index, and the very last node would point towards null. So like this is the linked list, and like we can like there is a head, and then each node points towards the next node, and each node consists actually of two things. One like when I say node is like the combination of the data, that whatever the data it is holding towards, and the pointer towards the next node itself, right? So like that's how I think that's the linked list. uh, how to traverse a linked list? Okay, so there is always one pointer that is available inside a linked list, that is head itself. So we can traverse it through a while loop, and what we can do is like we can create another pointer that also point like that is a copy of the head, and then what we will say is until that node itself is null, we like we would traverse, right? The node will become next of node, right? So like let's say the head is null, so the linked list is empty, so that's like, but the condition will not met, right? The node itself is null, so the condition is node itself should not be null. So until the node itself not is null, we traverse, and the node becomes next of node, right? So each node is will consist of two things, right? The data and the next node pointed to the next node itself, and that next node pointer is also like called as next or next node. So what I would do inside a while loop is the node is equals to node of next or node of next node. So that is how we traverse, and the last node would point towards null, so it would make the node itself null, so we would exit out of the while loop. The third question is, what is the main advantage of linked list? So it depends if you consider it in an exam like advantages or not. But the if we are comparing it with an array, then it may be an advantage that array has a fixed size and we can store any number of data in linked list. There is no limit, so that would be an advantage for the linked list. But also it also becomes a disadvantage since like let's talk about advantage only if we are asking that. So that is an advantage, that array has a limited space and linked list does not. So space, let's say if I have defined 10 space of array is 10, then I can only store 10 variables, and if I am storing less than 10 variables, then I'm wasting my space because the last space would be empty. So that's like uh, it's not getting used, so it's and that's not the case in linked list. If it is null, then there would be nothing in linked list. Space of linked list would be 0. If there is one node, then it would be 1, then 2, then 3. Like it can be expanded or reduced, so that's the advantage. Thank you, I guess.